Do you know what happens when you take Widow's Bay, Gravity Falls, theme parks, Halloween, rubber hose cartoons, and Jaws, mash them all up together? You get Crescent Hollow. What's up? My name is Randall. I'm an artist and creative director from Orlando, Florida. A lot of people ask me, what is my inspiration for Crescent Hollow? And other than the crazy stories that live in my brain, it all comes from all these things that I've watched, that I've seen, things from my childhood. You know, like I said, I started developing most of Crescent Hollow before I even watched, Widow's Bay came out this summer. I've been working on Crescent Hollow since like really the summer of 2025. But where you see these things that to me reassure what I'm doing, where it's like, you know, the founder who is kind of like may or may not be dead, the history museum that's in his house, this small weird New England town. The idea also is, it's like, the thing about Crescent Hollow is that it's supposed to be like this strange New England town that, you know, has a dark past, that was built in the 1600s at first, or at least founded in the 1600s. It can be creepy, it can be fun. It's like those things that are like melded together at the same time. Another big one is Gravity Falls. I had never watched Gravity Falls before working on Crescent Hollow. I developed most of the idea for Crescent Hollow, and I was explaining it to a friend of mine at an art show, and he said, have you ever watched Gravity Falls? And I said no. And you might think that's weird. It's just in that gap, like it just wasn't on my radar. I've started watching it now, and there's a lot of very similar things there, and I love that, where it's like, this is what it's like, this weird small town that has a history, that has a mystery and all that. That's really like another fun one. Halloween is a big inspiration. I have this idea that Halloween, the idea of the American Halloween, trick-or-treating, was first done in Crescent Hollow. You don't have to Google that, I'm telling you that's true. Roadside attractions. I mean, these small little like Museum of Wonders and Gatorland and all these little small Americana things, like where you would pull over and see Route 66, that sort of deal. That's fun. Jaws. I mean, Jaws is a huge inspiration. There's basically a monster in the ocean, and a lot of people out of the town are like, we're a New England tourist summer town, and we need to make money. You can't close the beach.
I'm pleased and happy to repeat the news that we have in fact caught and killed a large predator that supposedly injured some bathers. But as you see, it's a beautiful day, the beaches are open, and people are having a wonderful time. Amity, as you know, means friendship.
Like, people are getting eaten, but they don't want to close the beach. Like, that's definitely very Crescent Hollow. We know this town is messed up, but that's life in Crescent Hollow, and we just continue on. You know, we don't ask too many questions, and we hope you come, and we hope you never leave. Like that, even the saying, welcome to Crescent Hollow, we hope you never leave, ... Rubber hose cartoons, you know, like that old Mickey Mouse style, the Steamboat Willie, the art style of Cuphead. Those, I've always been a fan of that art style. It's like when the arms and legs are just, you know, like there's no set proportions. One, it makes drawing easier, but I just think there's something about that classic style. And also theme parks. I've always been a huge fan of theme parks. Hell, I was the creative director for one. Going to Disney, like, just captured my imagination. And making my own version of that as Hollow World in my story was something that I really, really wanted to set out to do because of my experience of working at theme parks and my love of theme parks. Like that old, like, vintage Disney style, that is a huge, huge inspiration for Crescent Hollow. Stephen King's a big inspiration. Look what he does with like It, where it's like the town of Derry is a character in itself, right? The town of Crescent Hollow is the main character. Yes, I have characters. I have the Four Horsemen, who are marketed as the Four Friends, and Dr. Thaddeus Randall, and all these other characters, but the main character is the town itself. The Simpsons is another one where they have like hundreds of characters. I like that, where, you know, someone could come in and they could play a really small role, but they're still pivotal to the town. And I want them to not just be like, oh, the grocer, I want him to have a name. Lost, where the Dharma Initiative is basically very, very Randall Corp, where it's like, what the hell is this company doing? You know, what's this all about? Like, what's that underlining mystery? a very similar show, Fringe, if you've ever seen that, where it's kind of a monster of the week, but there's overall this narrative. That's another one. Within J.J. Abrams' world, there's a drink called Slusho. It's shown in like Cloverfield and Lost and a couple other things, where it's like that Slurpee type drink. That's basically Sludgeberry. I created my own drink where like it's like a Slurpee, but it started as a tonic where a man made it as like a wellness drink. Randall Corp took it over and now just mass produces it as this sugary drink. So if you I'm calling out these things, and if you like them, I think you'd like Crescent Hollow. Like I said, I've been spending about a year discovering what the town is and putting it together and really coming up to make it into something that, to me, you would want to visit in real life. And it's not just like this digital thing. That's why I'm really working to create. The goal is to create real world experiences. So welcome to Crescent Hollow. We hope you never leave.
The sun came out, the bluebirds flew, and every thought was filled with you. A smile and a dream, that's all I need to chase the clouds.